All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to Sports to the Wire. We're back with another edition here, and we're gonna get into the NBA ratings is at a 25% loss right now, and actually Tucker Carlson from Fox News, he actually pulled in more ratings than the NBA playoffs a couple of days ago. So should we actually get him his own sneaker deal? So.
Hey.
So we gotta.
Hey, you produce, you get rewarded.
Yeah, I hear you. Tucker Carlson sneakers, man. I mean, yeah, they'll sell a whole bunch of them. All right, so yeah, Fox News is pretty much pulling in better ratings than the NBA right now. Now, Berick had his own perspective towards that, and Kenneth has his own perspective towards that. And Kenneth and Berick is actually back with us. Well, Berick is definitely a part of the show, but Kenneth is our special guest here. So, Berick, you take us off, man. What's up with the NBA ratings, man? Because the actual play, I just watched this Toronto and Boston game, man, and it was probably one of the best games I've ever seen. Well, I want to say one of the best games, not the best, but one of the best games. They played hard. The passion was there. The intensity was there. What the hell's going on, man? Because the play in this bubble has actually been really, really good.
Well, that's the thing, and that's kind of what we're dramatizing where we are right now is why are the NBA ratings on their ultimate low? Well, let's just start looking at the timeline for once. First of all, we go back to early February, go back to March of this year, and obviously there was a game on the court. They just say, hey, listen, guys, come off the court, we're not playing no more. Rudy Gobert was the first NBA player to test positive. From that point forward, they had no answers, they had no plan, no medical plan, no security plan, no health plan, nothing was planned and set. So they had to go out there and say, listen, we're done with basketball until we can figure something out. They did that. Now they have to play in one location. And now you have to go out and show the basketball fans that we can still give you the NBA at its best, even though we're playing in one location and only teams that can qualify for the postseason can play. I'm only just putting out the landscape here. The biggest problem right now is that you don't have that fever anymore. There is no home court advantage. The fans are not there. You have virtual fans who basically have recorded themselves, forwarded to ESPN, and they put themselves up in the digital screen to make it look like it.
But let me tell you, hold on. That's better than MLB. I mean, MLB has some paper.
I know. That's the whole thing. But you got to give at Mr. Silver all the credit in the world as the NBA commissioner. He's been doing a great job with trying to keep the NBA afloat. And it's not his fault people are tuning out. But then you got to think about the people who tuned in. And you are getting great play on the floor. But if you really want the biggest answer as to why the ratings are down, it's because the element of what we are accustomed to seeing on the NBA landscape is done. You don't see it right now. You do see great play. You do see players playing hard. That hasn't stopped. Nor has their paycheck stopped. Nor has the owner stopped paying the players. So none of that stopped. So you're going to still get the hard play. You're just not getting everything else. You're not getting the fan interaction. You know, the home court advantage from playing from one city to the next, all that has been basically eliminated so that you can play in one location. That is not as enticing to the average NBA fan. That could be one.
Yeah, and listen, it is actually somewhat difficult for me to watch. I mean, I watch it because we're sports analysts here, so somewhat we're kind of forced to watch it. But I watch a lot of these basketball YouTubers, man. I've been actually turning into their content on YouTube. Devontae Friga and T-Jazz and Professor Live. You know, I've been watching their content because there's not a lot of virtual signaling and masks. I mean, I watch the post game. Like now, each player and every single person in that bubble has been tested for coronavirus. And all of them has a clean bill of health. So why the hell they wearing masks at the podium? Like, well, what the fuck is that?
Okay, you don't want to go there. You don't want to go there.
No, I'm just saying. Well, because you got there's a large segment of the population that had their lives literally destroyed by this COVID, and we know that they've been, we know Fauci's lying. I mean, we know there's a whole bunch of inconsistencies with the numbers, selective enforcement, and a lot of people has actually had their lives destroyed because of this. And a lot of people believe that this is not as bad as the flu. So when you combine that and you see these guys wearing masks and when they interview, let's say LeBron James, they have the microphone pointed like 6 to 8 feet, 9 feet away, when all the players pretty much has been tested for coronavirus. And there's a lot of virtual signaling going on. Kenneth, let me get your perspective on that. You've been relatively quiet there, man.
Well, I'm just learning. Here's the situation. Sports is a type of escapism. People work hard and they want to have a point of relaxation. The moment you put politics in sports, it is no longer relaxing. Now you have to think again. Am I going to sit here and put up with this stuff, or am I going to go home? I believe that the ratings are down only because politics has injected itself. I was watching baseball the other day, and two teams walked on the field, they walked off the field, and they put Black Lives Matter. Now, that has nothing to do with the ball game. That has nothing at all to do with the ball game. So, I mean, the moment you interject politics into this thing, ratings are going to go down. I keep trying to tell people, black people are very emotional. White people, they're not emotional. They just won't. They'll stay home. Even though they bought season tickets, they'll stay home. This is their way of protesting.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But you talk about the politics. You talk about just the actual fan interaction, all the things that come along with it. And let's just be honest. Politics never had any business in sports.
That's right.
Especially professional sports. Okay? Even collegiate sports are starting to get political. Believe that. And you see what's going on now in college sports. They are basically saying, some of the major college conferences have said, well, we're not playing until the spring. What difference does that make? The biggest guys that's going to be going to the draft won't even play because they don't want to risk getting injured. But why are you guys getting so political about it? Then you're going to change your mind and start football anyway. We're not going to go there. That's for another time. The bottom line is, it doesn't have any interaction, and it was always proven to be that way. That's why I went with the route of saying that the fan interaction and some of the things that we knew to bring the extra oomph, the extra tip of why you watch basketball, that has been missing. And, just like Rashid mentioned, especially you turn on the TV, this time I knew a playoff game was on, and I'd rather watch a rerun of Seinfeld or something, because they had one of my best episodes, and I said, I'll catch the game later. I was never like that before, because I don't like what I see.
Exactly. Once politics enters, it changes the whole scope of the game, and I could not believe that the owners allowed this. The moment that you sign a contract, you are contractually obligated to do your job. The moment that you walk on that field, like the baseball players did, and then they walk off, and then make a political statement by leaving a Black Lives Matter t-shirt there, automatically each and every one of them should have been fined. Okay? Because your job is not to be political. Your job is to pick up the bat and hit the ball and run the bases. That's it. Your job is not to primarily have a t-shirt that says justice. Your job is to basically take that little ball and put it in the hoop. I mean,
listen, and Kenneth, I definitely do agree, because I see it in all aspects of life. I mean, people are willing to destroy their lives, destroy their businesses. We see with the teachers, we don't want to go to work because of the COVID. We see it among our jobs, and we see it among food distribution centers. I mean, people willing to actually destroy the N.B.A, losing billions of dollars. I mean, they lost about how much? I believe it was like $6 billion for them to actually.
$2 billion right now. At
$2 billion, right?
But you know what? We're not counting numbers, are we? Because every sport's lost numbers. Every sport, every single sport right now has lost numbers. It's gotten so bad that a tennis ball player named Djokovic mistakenly hits a ball right at the judge, knocks the judge down. The judge is hurt. You know, it's so bad now that people who are normally capable of doing the right thing are doing the wrong thing. We are in a flux right now. Yes, politics are here. Yes, people are afraid. This fear is not going to change, guys. It's not going to change. All right.
All right. So what is up with Adam Silver? Because Adam Silver has to look at the metrics. He has to see that. Hey, listen. And I listen to N.B.A. radio, and they talk about this stuff, and their callers and they're black people saying, hey, we don't want to hear about all this stuff. We just want to watch the game. And I just think it's a lot with the like Berick alluded to. Go ahead, Kenneth.
Any black person that sits back and says, well, you know, I don't want to see all this stuff, it's questionable. And the reason why I say that is this. As a black person, I don't like to see our people killing each other. As a black person, I don't like to see white people talking bad about us. But when you begin the process of saying, you know, well, I don't want to see this, you know, you can't keep this type of stuff out. And then the sad part about it is that for every black person that says they don't want to see something, you're going to have 10 to 20 white people out there in the street marching. They're saying Black Lives Matter, and we're sitting on the sidelines going, hey, check that out. I guess we do matter. No, check that out. I guess we do matter. So, you know, anytime a black person begins, and I'm going to say it, anytime a black person begins to have a European mindset pertaining to what happens to us as black people, I don't pay attention to anything that they say. I have a problem with black conservatives. I have a problem with black Republicans.
Bro, I got a problem with black conservatives for why, man?
Well, because see, black coffee, no sugar, no cream. Point blank. I don't believe in the mixture. I believe that if you're going to be black.
Why can't you just love? Why you just can't love the country though, man? You know, I think that's what conservatism is. It's pretty much a person that's patriotic and that just loves their country. Okay, why can't you just love your country as a black person and appreciate I mean, you look at people. You look at people in the projects now, man.
Kenneth just put the hand on top of the nail. He said, listen, guys just don't like being seen. You don't want to listen to this. You don't want to see it. But this is where we are right now. If we don't like what they see, guess what they do, guys? They turn the TV off and went somewhere else. You know, NBA down. NBA's raising it down because they don't want to see this. They don't want to see the very same thing.
All right, so I mean, because as a business, if I ran the NBA, I wouldn't do it. That says, listen, my customers don't like this, and when you stop listening to your customers. Any business like the N.B.A. is, you're definitely going to go down. Listen, they're your boss.
But wait a minute, Rashid, because you're right. But Adam Silver is listening to the fans. That's why they're playing. Along with the fact that the owners are losing out on money. Let's not forget that. The owners are losing out on money, so that's another reason why. But Adam Silver listens to everybody. At the end of the day, they came up with a plan. They got to play in this bubble.
So why they still supporting the Black Lives Matter? I still see that on the court, and it's not very popular. It's not a popular movement amongst a lot of black people in this country, and a lot of white people in this country.
I am black, and I support Black Lives Matter. What you're talking about is the Black Lives Matter movement. Okay, there's a difference. There is a strong difference.
No. The thing is that Kenneth is that you listen. You know I love you, bro. You know I love you, but I told you, man, you can't just be selective about this, man. If you're gonna say you're gonna care about Black lives, you can't just put it towards police shootings. And I don't think the American public is that stupid. They see that. They say, hey, what about these? What about these abortions? What about these shootings? What about the disease? And why are we at the second shortest lifespan? What's up with that?
First of all, when you say the American people, understand.
I'm talking about the black people.
It took 3 amendments for us to be Americans. The 13th Amendment, the 14th Amendment, and the 15th Amendment allowed us to vote. So don't say Americans because white people are born here and they are.
All right, we don't want to live in the past. I'm talking about right here,
Sir,
right now.
If you do not deal with the past, you will be condemned to repeat.
But you can't live in the past, Kenneth. That's what I'm trying to say. You cannot live in the past.
You don't know where you're from, okay? How you gonna handle things now? You gotta go back to the past every once in a while.
No, I'm not. Listen, I love reading about history, man. I'm not saying I'm a true historian, but I mean I know more about history than a lot than your average general American out there. So I do understand.
You know more about European history.
No,
sir.
I'm talking about medical history. Listen, I could write a book right now on the history of the American Medical Association. You'll be horrified to actually. That's what I'm saying.
Let me ask you one. Okay.
Are you plagiarizing that accuracy that you just read over right now? Go ahead.
Let me ask you one historical question. Okay, when did women get the right to vote?
What was that? The 19.
Since you know history, when did women?
No, I didn't say I. No, I just said that I am not a historian. You know, but I do know.
But I'm just saying that women got the right to vote in 1920, right?
Yeah, I think it was 1920 something, right?
You guys are sure about that?
Women got the right to vote in 1920 something, right? Yes, yeah, because see, I'm about to make a point now. There you go. 1921, women got the right to vote, right?
Yeah.
That's correct.
Wrong. That's wrong. One line?
What happened?
Zoom happened, man. Zoom.
19.
All right, he's back.
What happened now?
No, you froze for a second. You froze.
Okay. White women got the right to vote in 1920. Black women didn't get the right to vote until 1965.
You asked when women voted.
Right.
Yeah, you got the. Kenneth and I go.
No.
He doesn't get specific on these questions.
Okay. All right.
When I asked the fact of when did women get the right, when I asked the question when did women get the right to vote, everybody says 1920, and when you say women, they include black women also, okay? But black women didn't get the right to vote until 1965. So when you talk about history, you're talking about his story, not our story, okay? You understand?
His story, right.
Right, it's his story. It's not our story. So when it comes down to this whole point of black and white, it's you just can't say, well, Americans. No, because black people were made Americans. Okay? We were product when we came here. That's what we were, product.
Kenneth, do you actually study black history? Do you know that? I mean, do you actually see the achievements that we actually have on the globe, not just in this country, but on the globe? I mean, come on, dude. You act like black people were just beaten down and not able to achieve anything here, man. Come on, dude.
So who created the light bulb?
Was it? Well, we know we're not gonna say definitively. Definitively, it was Thomas Edison. Yeah.
Okay, Thomas Edison got the credit. It was a young man by the name of Latimer who created the filament. Do you understand? So when you talk about we've created, yeah, but to get the credit, we need the patents. Okay, we didn't have the money for the patents. Okay, the only thing that we know about is George Washington Carver created peanut. He did a whole lot of things with peanuts. Everything else, patents went to white people, unless the black person had the money. This racial issue goes way back, and it continues to this day. And that's why I harp on it. It's not about white people, it is about their system of white supremacy.
All right, Berick, your take on that, man.
Yeah, you okay? Well, listen, guys, all right, Kenneth, yes, this is what's been going on for centuries, not decades, centuries. 400 years of problems, right? So at the end of the day, you're looking at right now. Are some of us getting some of the opportunities that we didn't have 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago? The answer is yes. You're seeing the first African-American woman referee. You're seeing women coaching in football now.
A VP candidate on an
NFL roster now.
A black president.
These are things that weren't happening. Right. These things weren't happening before. They're happening now. Now, I'm not disparaging what you're saying, but slowly, but surely, it is changing little by little. it should be a lot more frequent, to be quite honest with you. I'm not going to sit there and run away from that. But slowly but surely, you're seeing these type of things happen. What I want to see now is a person of color running an NFL team, and we're seeing in basketball, but I'm talking about in the highest pro set, which is football, because that's where the big money is. Washington football team just hired their first black president. Okay, and
now
that was new.
That's bad. As long as that organization been in existence for them to finally hire someone black,
well,
and
right,
I can only guarantee you this that.
Kenneth's bandwidth is low again.
No, it's okay. Because I can tell you one thing, Kenneth. Right now, that Washington football team, they're in disarray right now. I mean, there's rape allegations going on from the owner of the team. They're asking that owner of the team to leave, resign, Ashray, leave, go on. They asked him to do that, and the same thing would happen with Sterling. He
can't hear you right now. He's frozen up. He's reconnecting.
Okay.
I think he should be coming back in a couple of seconds. Man, freaking Zoom, man. We're gonna try a couple of other. There's was it Creative Cloud something?
Yeah, I'm back.
Get back. I'll be back. Okay, so.
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, so what I was.
Okay.
No, we see you. Your bandwidth is low right now. Your bandwidth is low.
Yeah. So all I was saying is that football team's in peril right now. The owner is being accused of how him and his subordinates handled certain women employees, ranging from cheerleaders on to assistant workers. There's rape allegations going on, but they wound up hiring a first black president. So, it's kind of funny. It's not right. It's slowly, surely been happening, but it should be a little bit more frequent, in my opinion.
All right, yeah. So, but getting back to we jumped off the deep end, like Berick was saying. We jumped off the deep end about the N.B.A. ratings. We got Kenneth actually triggered me for about the conservatism that
I think we went around it, but I think it could be many reasons why the ratings are down, and that could be part of it too.
It could be the COVID thing, like I said, the mask wearing. A lot of there's mask burning groups out there now. It's people that don't believe in the COVID. You got people that just don't like the bubble. They miss what Berick said about the fans. There's a lot of different factors that goes into this. So, them taking a kneel, I think a lot of them locked arms. So,
I want to throw one thing in that has nothing to do with the N.B.A. right now. Just one thing. We mentioned Colin Kaepernick. Remember, he was always the guy that was responsible for taking the knee and how he got crucified and basically blackballed from the N.F.L. and things of that nature. Would you know now that the N.F.L. and the Madden football game have made a deal with Mr. Colin Kaepernick to his facial rights, to his statistics, to his ability to go and move around and all that stuff. They recorded him. They basically came to an agreement to put him in this year's football game, this year's video game for Madden 21. And
that's going to piss off a lot of the conservatives,
man. In there. They made a complete agreement with him. I don't know for how much money, but go figure. This is the guy that was blackballed for the NFL. Now he's got a big time deal with Madden.
All right, so Kenneth, last words on this. Yeah, he's frozen up.
White people. I think white people will not put up with this. There will be a massive financial withdrawal from all sports if this continues.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say white people, man. I just say I think it's a lot of it's more than white people that actually watch sports. It's a high majority of Spanish people and black people, Kenneth, that actually watch sports.
This is true, but if you look in them stands, if you look at those arenas in them stands, how much more of the Caucasian versus the black you see in those stands?
Yeah.
That's the question. All right. So there you go. That's a lot of your ratings. That's a lot of people who are not visiting the arenas and the stadiums. That's when you know you got a problem. So Kenneth's 100% right about that.
All right, we're going.
I'll be a big fan.
We're gonna wrap this up. For those of you, definitely comment, subscribe, give it a like, and share it. Remember, sharing is caring. And when you share, the universe actually shares back with you. And if it doesn't, I'll give you $100. That's a promise, though, because I know that the universe does give back to you when you actually do share. So definitely share this. All right, peace out, everyone.
Peace.
Peace. All right.